Hello everyone, welcome to my first live stream on Stop Stuttering with Olga. The first question I'd like to ask before I move on with my narrative today. Can you see me well? Can you hear me? Could you just let me know how well you can hear me, how well you can see me, please? Just please send me some comments to say I can hear you. Or just put some numbers, maybe 111 or something like that. Just checking the technical side of things before I begin my narrative, my story. And also, I would like you to know that I would like this stream to be interactive. So if you have any questions as I progress, please just drop them in the messages under this video. Okay, I'm just waiting for you to let me know how well you can see me, how well you can hear me, please, if you don't mind. Okay, and also, could you let me know where you're from? Country, city, that would be nice too. So today's stream is going to answer some of the most important questions you all have about why you have tried so many techniques, so many courses, speech therapy, psychologists, and why do you still stutter? This is the main question that I'm going to address today. I will also explain to you what is stuttering and how you can begin to make your first steps towards unconditional freedom. Freedom from hesitation, freedom from fear, freedom from self-consciousness, freedom from your fears and everything that holds you back in life. So it's not just about speech, because when I work with people who stutter, they come to me, they ask, I just want to get rid of my stuttering, that's it. But actually, as we progress, what I see is that it's not about stuttering for them. They want to have a new life. They want to have a completely different life. This is not about stuttering. They want to turn their lives around. They want to live a completely different life. So it's not about speech, really. This all comes down to having a chance to live a completely different life. Life without restrictions, without fears, without anxiety. They want to be themselves. They want to be free. That's what it's all about. And when I started my journey 12 years ago, I have only went to one speech correction course, and it was all based on control. And I was a very diligent student. I worked really hard on my speech. I would follow the instructions closely. But then I just realized that, okay, even though I don't block as much as I did before, my life and my speech are still very stilted, artificial. It's not me. I didn't feel as if I could let go and be me. So my life was very restricted still, even though I have managed to cover up my blocking and my struggle. Okay, I'm just waiting for your comments now. How well you can see me. Hopefully everything is going well in terms of technology today. Internet is not stuttering, I hope. Okay, so please give me some feedback so it will motivate me to give you as much useful information as possible today. Okay, and then whilst you sending me your comments, I'm just going to take a few moments of my time to just concentrate and also, as I say, as I'm going through the story, please feel free to post your comments and your questions. I will take them as I go along. Okay. So where are you from, guys? Where are you from? That would be nice to know. Geography of my stream. So as you can see, getting rid of stuttering, it's not about really getting rid of stuttering. It's about the new life that you're going to have. Where are you from, my friend? Hello, I can hear you very well. Could you share where you're from? Your location, your city. So it's not about getting rid of stuttering as such. People want to have new lives. Because if stuttering didn't restrict your life, you wouldn't even bother fixing it. Because what's the point if it doesn't restrict your life, if it doesn't bother you, then you just go along and you do nothing, you just enjoy your life. The thing is, it restricts your life greatly. You feel there is something else in you that you cannot reveal, that you cannot be fully yourself, your authentic self. Hence you stutter, and hence you continue to look for the key, for the solution that will free you from this problem. And it was exactly the same for me 12 years ago when I started my journey. I didn't just want to limit myself by my speech, by managing to mask my blocking. I wanted to have an entirely new life, new quality of life, new possibilities. I wanted to meet people. I wanted to be able to speak publicly. I wanted to be able to come to this day and do this live stream for you. You see, this was like my wildest dreams. this was my wildest dream. I would never, in my wildest dreams, I would never imagine I would be able to do live streams or speak in public or lead speaking groups or anything like that. This was just too much to ask. And I felt so small at the time. I thought, no, just can't do it. And now here I am, I'm doing it. And I quite enjoy doing it. So I think I'm going to do more of this kind of things now because it's so much fun. Okay, guys, so we have one person from Finland. Anyone else? Because I see more people are watching me. So would you like to be more active, please? Because this is not just about passively listening. This is about participation, active participation. Only when you participate, you get the results. Otherwise, it will just go past you and you will forget all about it. So we want the information to become your wisdom. And if you want it to become your wisdom, you need to participate. That's how it works. Okay, so I'm just going to launch into my presentation here today. So stuttering. Everyone speaks about stuttering. Actually, I got quite bored of hearing this word because it doesn't really describe much. There is so much to it than just external blocking and struggle. So stuttering, essentially, as I also learned from my experience, I stuttered because I held back. So stuttering, I don't use this word with my students. We call it holding back. Because this is what essentially happens. You block because you hesitate, because you are too cautious, because you want to hide your emotions. You are afraid of showing who you are and your true feelings and your true opinions. You kind of like, from one side, you want to say it, you want to express yourself, but from the other side, you are too cautious, you are afraid, you are anxious, what they might say, how they might react to you. Will they laugh? Will they reprimand you? And there is this, fear at the back of your mind all the time. You want to say, but at the same time, you're cautious, you hold back. You want to say, but you're cautious, you hold back. You want it, but you hold back. You want to speak, but you hold back. You want to speak, but you hold back, and you have a block. This is how you create your stuttering experience, as I like to call it in my book. Stuttering is an experience, and this is an experience of holding back. You can see it for yourself if you still have some doubts. Let me just come up with a situation. Let's say, just remember some speaking situations, some situation that you are anxious about. It can be a phone call or a presentation or meeting your boss or something like that. Okay, just bring it up to your mind. Let's just say that in 15 minutes you have to make that important call, or you have to speak to your boss, or you have to participate in a Zoom conference. And I would like to notice the feeling that comes up when you even begin to think about that situation. What feeling comes up when you know you have to do it, but you begin to, what is beginning to happen with your feelings, with your thoughts? And I would like to see some comments there, because this is an interactive stream. It's not just me talking to myself. Okay, just notice what happens even as you begin to think, okay, I have to do this phone call, or I have to meet that person. What happens to your feelings, with your feelings, and how do you begin to, how does your body begins to respond to that feeling? What kind of sensations you have in your physical body? Would you like to comment and share your views? And I'm going to share you my experience. Okay, I'm going to share with you my feelings. What used to happen when I was about to make a phone call or speak at the conference or do a presentation or even do stream. Just thinking, nothing happens just yet, just a thought. What happens, what used to happen to me, and I didn't recognize it, I didn't see it, because it has become so ingrained. It has become my second nature. I didn't even notice it until I actually figured out what was happening. So what I felt was resistance. It was inner resistance that was kind of showing up somewhere in my chest. I would feel that heavy sensation in my chest, because your feelings, they actually reside in your body, somewhere from the top of your head to your belly button. So this is the area where you feel your emotions. They are somewhere here. And I would like you to concentrate on your sensations. Okay. You need to identify where exactly is that feeling, what part of your body. It can be either in your stomach or in your chest, in your throat, in your head. So for me, this was a feeling of resistance. And it felt like a heavy sensation in my chest, like And it actually made me do many other things, like, for example, holding my breath and tensing up my shoulders, locking my vocal cords, things like that. So it was all about resistance. From one side, I really wanted to speak, but from the other side, I was resisting inside and squeezing myself inside, and hence I blocked and stuttered and struggled and experienced silent blocks. My blocks were silent. I couldn't even utter one sound. I would be completely locked. Man, people would just look at me thinking that I was mentally challenged or something like that. So it was quite embarrassing, I can tell you, and it was very painful. So, but once again, so stuttering, this is the act of holding back. This is resistance that takes place in your mind, and then it moves on to your body, and then it manifests itself in the form of what you know as stuttering. But actually, at the core of it is holding back, resistance. Okay, so we have uncovered this gem. Let's move on to what stuttering is not. Why do you think all those courses and speech and language therapists and psychotherapists and all those exercises that you do, meditations even, this kind of stuff, why they don't work? They don't work because they only work with the external symptom of the problem. They only want to correct your speech. So let's do coastal breathing and prolongation of sounds, slow onset, this kind of thing. So they all work only with external symptom of the problem. They try to teach you how to speak, but actually, you know pretty well how to speak. You can speak and you know it. When you speak to children, or when you speak to yourself, when you speak to dogs, your speech flows naturally in 95% of cases. I know it from my personal experience of working with people from all over the world, and it's they just share exactly the same stories, most of them. So this all comes from experience. It's not just my personal experience. This is experience of many other people that I work with. So it's exactly the same thing. When there is, when they just let go, here, they let go in their minds. Everything happens naturally without any hesitation, without any problem. And the moment they begin to resist inside, the moment they begin to hold back, problem begins. Okay, so speech and language therapists, psychologists, courses, everything that you have tried before, they're not bad courses, but they don't understand one thing, that stuttering, it's not a problem of speech. This is an emotional problem. And if you really intend to overcome it for good, and if you want to maintain the result, you need to understand that what you're dealing with is not the problem of speech. And if you attempt to treat only the external symptom, you will never get far. I'm telling you, because I have been there myself. But I have always had this suspicion that there is something else to the problem. There's something else to the problem, something much more serious than just my blocking. Because I have had plenty of situations where my speech was perfect and I didn't understand why. And then I started kind of observing and thinking and analyzing, okay, what is happening here really? I mean, honestly. Okay, so do you have any questions as I go along? Please just send your questions. because this is an interactive stream. This is not just me talking to myself. So it would be nice to see some participation, because you are here not for me, you are here for yourself. You want to fix the problem for good, I believe. So participate. Do you do daily exercises? Which exercises? No, exercises. What do you mean by exercises? If you mean like speaking exercises, I don't do anything to do with speech. What I do is mind training. I do lots of mind training, because any problem that you have, it originates in your mind. So I work daily with my mind. I work with my mind because I know any problem you might have, it all comes from the mind. If you and actually that's a good point that I would like to emphasize now. If you continue working on your speech because you believe that this is a speech problem, you will, if you are fixated on your speech, you will never overcome stuttering. That's how it works. So you need to move on from this idea that stuttering is a speech problem, because if you don't, you will be forever tied to doing exercises, to doing all kinds of what else is there, I'm not sure, exercises, you know, discussing the same problem over and over again. You keep yourself tied to the problem. If you want to become free from it, you have to move on from this idea that this is a speech problem. Do you begin to see how it works? Do you begin to understand what you're dealing with? Okay. So, and the essence of the problem is that you hold back. And why do you hold back? You hold back because you feel discomfort in talking to certain people in certain situations. You have discomfort talking to certain people in certain situations. And now I would like to share with you my personal story. When I was in school, at the age of 13, this is where my problem actually began. I remember so clearly, again, it just kept me so puzzled. I didn't like school because it was very stressful at the time. And I was going through puberty, so I was very emotional person, and I still am. And I was actually very vulnerable at the time, and I didn't like school. I actually hated that place. It was so stressful. I didn't feel like I belonged to the place. I felt completely out of place. All those lessons that we had, I just thought they were completely useless and pointless. And I remember feeling constantly stressed out in school. And I didn't get along with my classmates very well, because I just thought that they were so loud and so outgoing and so rude and so confident and all that stuff. I just didn't feel good in that place. And of course, when teachers would ask me to come up and recite a poetry or read out loud, I would completely block. I wouldn't be able to say even one single sound. And it just really kind of, it was soul destroying for me. I felt so ashamed and so humiliated. And this is how I lived. Okay, but I had one friend with whom I felt totally comfortable, and I could be myself with her. And now, attention, the moment when I stepped out from the school, my speech began to flow. I would be funny, I would make jokes, I would be open, I would be loud, I'll be, myself. I was myself. And my speech would flow without any hesitation, without any blocking. I would take a book and I would begin to read to my friend without any problem. And then just a few minutes ago in class, I wasn't able to say even one single sound. Believe it or not, that's how it was. I wasn't able to say one sound in class, but when I stepped out from the school, I was me, and I was fluent, and I was loud, and I was funny, and I was open, and I didn't hold back. I didn't hold back. And my speech just went perfectly. No need for exercises. I didn't use any techniques because I didn't even understand that I had stuttering. I didn't even know what it was at the time. You see the difference there. This was all to do with my feelings. I felt extremely uncomfortable in school. And because of it, I was wearing a mask. I would pretend that I'm shy, that I'm quiet, that I'm stupid. I would always sit in the back of the class so as to avoid being asked, to answer the question or anything like that. I was always hiding. I was wearing this mask. I was wearing this persona just to stop people from asking me anything. This was my defense. This was my defense because I didn't know how to manage with the levels of stress that I was subjected to at the time, because I was too young and I didn't know what was happening to me. Okay, so this was my defense. But when I stepped out from the school, I would flow. No problem there, no hesitation. Do you begin to see how it works? Do you have any questions at all? So this is all to do with how you feel about yourself. And I see the challenge there for many of you is that this fake persona, it has become so ingrained. It has become your second nature. You truly really believe that you're that introverted, shy, quiet person who doesn't like to speak. You have come to believe this because you have never had the chance to meet the other side of yourself. The other side of yourself. You have developed this persona long time ago, maybe when you were a kid, 3 or 4 years old, and you have never seen yourself as being extroverted and funny and loud and open and confident. Okay, so it is a challenge for you kind of to recognize that there is another side of you, which is completely different from what you know you are now. There are so many things that we don't know about ourselves. There are so many things that we don't know about ourselves because we have always lived wearing this mask. So the moment you wake up, the mask comes on. And so the challenge for you is to meet the real you. When you begin to see that there is a different part to your personality, this is when you begin to question kind of, okay, what's going on here? Am I that shy person, introverted and shy and stupid and quiet, blah, blah, blah? Or am I, that other side of me, which is funny, outgoing, extroverted, a person who really wants to express herself and be visible and have fun. Okay, so I have a question for you now. Have you ever had an experience where you were in the moment, when you were in the flow, where you felt differently from how you normally feel? Could you just share with me your experiences? Have you ever had situations or experiences where you felt truly and fully yourself, open, no hesitation, no resistance, no holding back, no mask, where you were like fully yourself, 100%? There was no judgment, there was no risk, where you could really let go and show your true colors. Shall I put it this way? Your true colors without any holding back. I have had a very bad cough 3 days ago, and my throat is still not perfect. Excuse my my cough, my voice, because I'm still recovering from that cough. Okay, so I would like you to begin to notice those moments where you feel like flowy and different from how you normally feel, because that fake persona that you're wearing and you truly believe that that is the real you, sometimes it kind of shifts. And I would like to notice those moments where you feel completely different from how you normally feel day to day. Okay. And also, for example, when you speak to children, when you speak to animals, when you speak to yourself, I would like you to notice those moments, okay, and really study them well. How do you feel when you don't block? How do you feel when your speech just goes normally? How do you feel? I had a client last year, and he shared a very interesting story. He said to me, when I'm alone in the house, I speak to myself very well. No blocking, no hesitation, no resistance, no caution, nothing else. I just let go and my speech flows naturally. But attention here. But the moment that he begins to think that there might be somebody in the room next door, there might be somebody in the house overhearing him speaking to himself, he would begin to hesitate, and he would begin to have trouble speaking. So only just a thought in his mind that there might be somebody there overhearing him, just a thought, and it would turn on his speech problem. Do you see how it works? Because when you allow this thought, your emotional state changes. When your emotional state changes, you begin to hold back, you begin to hide behind a mask, you begin to squeeze yourself, you begin to tense your throat, your shoulders, you go back into your head, you hide behind that fake persona, and you begin to have trouble speaking. That's it. Okay, this is all to do with your emotional state. Your speech is based on your emotional state. If you want to achieve fluency, and if you want to maintain it, you don't need to work with your speech, you need to work with your mind, with your emotional state. Okay, is that clear? What kind of training do? I do coaching. I coach people on how to achieve permanent fluency, to restore their natural God-given fluency, because you actually have your fluency within you. I don't need to teach you how to speak. You do know how to speak. The problem is that currently your fluency is locked. It's locked in a box behind those ideas that you have about yourself, behind that fake persona. When we remove that, when we change the emotional state, your fluency comes in as a side effect, and you begin to flow. Your anxiety begins to reduce, and your speech is restored naturally. Okay, so there is, I don't need to teach you how to speak. You do know how to speak. Okay, and you do know how to breathe well. You know everything, but the problem is to unlock that natural fluency that you have. You already have it. It is locked. That's the problem. Okay, so any questions so far? Any questions so far? Yeah, that situation with my client. So the moment he just allowed the thought to enter his mind that there might be somebody else in the house overhearing him talking to himself, he would block. So fun, isn't it? There is no logic. There is no logic at all. Just a thought would make him block. That's it. But in his mind, he knew there's nobody in the house. Nobody's listening to him. Just a thought, guys. Just a feeling that there might be somebody there. Block. That's it. End of story. So stuttering comes down to it comes down to the fear of losing control and showing your true feelings and emotions. So it is the fear of being yourself. You have learned somehow to be uncomfortable with who you are. Maybe because of your parents, school, friends, and society, of course, which is not good for the spirit, as some people say. And you as a child or as a teenager, you have come to believe that the way you are is not good enough. It's not good enough to show your emotions. It's not good to speak up. It's not good to show off. It's not good to be loud and extroverted. So you, as a child or as a teenager, you have begun to castrate yourself in different places. So they don't like me speaking too loud. I'll begin to hesitate, and I will speak in a mousy voice so that they don't reprimand me, that they don't reject me. So you begin to castrate yourself in all places, as I like to put it. Because I have been through exactly the same process. I was made to believe that I'm not good enough, that I am too emotional, I'm too loud, my voice is too loud, that I have to hold back, I have to listen, that my opinions don't matter, that I'm nothing, this kind of thing. So I have come to believe all that nonsense, and I have shaped that fake persona just to fit in, just to blend in, just to gain approval and be liked. That's all I really wanted back then, and it's absolutely absolutely natural, because I was just a teenager, I was just a child, and I needed that approval back then, because without that approval I wouldn't be able to survive. I needed my parents, I needed their love and their care. So I began to develop that fake persona just to be liked. just to gain approval. And so as I was doing this, I have lost, I have become disconnected with my true self. I have come to believe that the way I truly am is not good enough. I'm not good. That's what I believed for many, many years, that the way I am, it's not good. I have been disconnected with myself. I've been trying to please for many, many years, and I didn't understand what was happening. I thought, I'm so good. Why they don't like me? I'm so good. This is because people, to be accepted, to be loved, people want to see you. They don't want to see your mask. They want you. Okay? They want you. Only when we become authentic and true to ourselves, only then we can gain not only fluency in speech, but fluency of life. You can become successful, you can change your job, you can move to a different country, you can find love, success, wealth, everything. But this can only come to you when you have the courage to show your true self, to become authentic and stay authentic. Don't hide into that shell of your fakeness. This is the recipe for success, not just in speaking, but in life in general. I know, and you know too, I'm sure, that there are many people that are quite successful, but do you think they are intelligent? Do you think they are attractive? Do you think they do something important? Any comments on that? You know some people that are extremely successful, but are they clever? Are they intelligent? Are they attractive in any way? You tell me. You probably think, such an idiot, why is he so successful, right? Have you ever had these kind of questions? Such an idiot, why is he so successful? What is the secret to his success and popularity? Okay. Do you ever ask that question? Do you ever question what's going on? Comments, questions, waiting. What do you think their secret? What is the secret? It might be stupid, ugly, whatever. Why are they so popular and so successful? Waiting for your comments, guys. I have a comment. Even if our true authentic self may be polarizing, and how can we be our true authentic self? Okay. So I don't really understand the question. I hope, well, I will try to answer it the way I understood it. Okay, how can you become your true authentic self? I have asked the question before. Have you ever had experiences of flow where you didn't hold back, where there was no resistance, there was no caution, there was no fear that somebody might judge you? Have you ever had these kind of experiences in your life? Can you remember them? What was the situation? What was happening there? Just recall the situation where you were truly like open, and you didn't try to control anything. You didn't hold back in any way. You felt kind of very present in the moment. This is what they called the state of flow. Just remember those kind of situations. So to become yourself, you need to first, you need to pinpoint and anchor. How did that feel to be yourself? You need to remember this. How did it feel to be yourself? When you know this, you will see the difference, and you will be able to distinguish where it is truly you and where it is the mask that is acting as you. You will see the difference. First, you need to see the difference first. That's this is the step number one. And then when you clearly see the difference, okay, so this is me, this is fake me, you can then do certain steps to help you develop that true persona and slowly get rid of the fakeness. It will take some time, so it doesn't happen overnight. But if you are moving in the right direction now, you will have success, and that is guaranteed. But you have to be moving in the right direction, and you need to understand what what the problem of stuttering really is. If you don't, you will be banging on different doors. You'll be trying different methods. You'll be wasting your time. So if you want to achieve the result that you want to achieve and maintain your gains, you have to start moving in the right direction. You need to begin to move away from speaking, you know, blah, 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 this obsession with speech. And you have to start looking at a completely different place. You need to look at your feelings and emotions. You need to study yourself. You need to understand who you are. And this can only be done through feelings, understanding your feelings. There is no logic to feelings because they all come from your subconscious. There is no logic. There is no time. There are only feelings and emotions. But your subconscious is very powerful. It's not logical, but it's very powerful. And the problem for many also is that you are too logical. You are too logical. You are locked in this paradigm of logic that stuttering is a speech problem. There must be something wrong with my genetics, disability. This is a disease. There's something wrong with my brain. This kind of ideas. So if you continue to think this way, if you continue to hold on to this idea, you will never be able to think outside the box and leave that paradigm, because paradigms, they're like prisons of the mind. Okay, so the prison of the mind, there are no locks, there are no guards, there is no bars, but you're locked in because your mind is locked in. This is the most secure prison of all. Your mind. Your mind can do tricky things with you if you let it. If you don't understand how it works. But the moment you see the light, the moment you understand, you have 100% chance of getting rid of not only of your stuttering, but many other problems that hold you back. For example, problems in relationships, problems with health, problems with your financial success, anything, you name it, anything. It all comes from your mind. Once you understand how it works, and it's not so difficult, believe me. It's just a question of how open you are to new things, how open you are. When you open, it will sink in, you will understand, and then magic will begin to happen to your life, as it did with my life back then. 12 years ago, I was really hopeless. I thought there is no solution for my problem, and I would be forever stuttering and hiding myself. And I was actually, I will tell you one thing now. I was full of anger and rage, because I would always stifle my true feelings. There were many situations where I felt really angry, but I couldn't express it, because I felt this compulsion to be nice and pleasant to other people, even when they did bad things to me. This was my mindset. And it held me back, not just in my speech, but in many areas of my life. So I hope you beginning to see where it's all going. This is not a problem of speech. This is an emotional problem. And if you want to get rid of it, you have to pay attention to your emotions, really study them. Okay. And also, yeah, now the next point, when you are obsessed with getting rid of stuttering, you will never be free. The objective of what I do is to forget fluency and to concentrate on your persona, and to work on your feelings, and to work with your subconscious, to work with your mind. If your goal is fluency, you will be forever obsessing over your fluency, and this way you will keep yourself tied. You will keep yourself married, if you want, to your stuttering. You will always keep it in front of you. To get rid of stuttering, you have to forget stuttering. Okay, you have to totally ignore the idea that this is a speech problem. It is not a speech problem, but it manifests itself in your speech, yes, but this is not a speech problem at all. When you understand this is the foundation, actually. When you are open to this information, when you truly feel it, when you integrate it, then you can move on to the next level. If you don't understand this foundation now, if you still insist that this is a speech problem, you cannot move further. You have to be able to let go of this idea that this is a speech problem, and begin to study yourself, really understand yourself, get to know yourself. There are so many people in the world, they don't know what they feel. And I work with clients also, not just with stuttering, but with many other problems, fears, phobias, all kinds of things. And when I ask them one simple question, what makes you happy? What makes you truly happy? They don't know how to answer the question. They don't know. They just don't know. And I used to be exactly the same, not so many years ago. I didn't know what I feel. I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what makes me happy. I was absolutely confused. And I thought this is just the way life is. There's nothing we can do about it. This is just the way life is. Because everyone lives like that. I thought, okay, so if all people live like this, it must be true. This is the way to live. But then I realized how confused people are. They don't know anything else. They don't know any better. Okay, they don't know any better. But once you really understand that there is a different side to it all, you begin to see the light, and you have your 100%, 1000% of getting rid of your stuttering, and taking your life to a completely different level. That's not about speech. That's about your life. Remember this. You are searching for the answer, not because you want to get rid of your stuttering. No, not at all. You want to have a different life quality. That's what you all want. That's what I wanted when I was desperate and depressed and all that, and stuttering and thinking, oh, there's something wrong with my speech. If only I could fix my speech, I would be happy. That's what I thought. But then came a big surprise. Okay, I have managed my speech, but I was still unhappy. I have speech. I had speech, was still unhappy. So there is a lot more to it than just speaking. Okay, any questions, my friends, my viewers, new people who are coming in? I would just like to, maybe I should have done it at the very beginning of the stream. My name is Olga Bednarski. I'm an independent speech expert, and I help people to naturally restore their fluency, which they already have within them. It is the problem is that it is locked by false ideas of yourself, false ideas that keep you imprisoned in your stuttering paradigm. That's all it is. Okay, so don't obsess over your speech. The more you obsess over your speech, the longer you will have your problem. You have to, how shall I put it? You have to allow yourself to see that there is a different side to the problem. Okay, let's put it this way. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Do you? Any comments, please? Just allow yourself to think differently. I know that majority of you have been brainwashed that this is a problem of speech. This is thanks to traditional speech and language therapy. But this is not your fault, okay? This is not your fault. The good news, you can change your ideas. You can change your mind. You can change your paradigm. This is in your power. You don't need to believe everything that they say. You have the permission from me to begin to think differently. Okay? The more you obsess over your speech, the longer it will be. Yes, I understand. Good. I'm very happy that people do understand the concept. Do you have any other questions that you would like me to answer now? Because I'm going to finish this stream very shortly. So just give yourself permission. I know there are many people, with PhDs, speech and language therapists, and doctors and researchers. They all tell you this is a speech problem. There is something wrong with your brain. Blah 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 blah. That's it. They sound very authoritative. They do sound very convincing. But just begin to think why they do that. Just begin to think, why do they do it? Okay, just turn on your critical thinking just a little bit. Okay, this will be enough for many of you. When you just begin to kind of draw the curtain and look behind your stuttering, which is just the visible side of it. Give yourself permission, and I give it to you. Begin to look behind your stuttering. This is all just this is your blocking, your hesitations in speech, your stuttering. This is just a distracting trick to distract you, to make you think, oh, this is the problem, let's fix my speech. This is just a trick, okay? It is fooling you. It is trying to fool you into believing there is something wrong with your speech. There is everything is perfectly fine with your speech. You can speak well. What holds you back is that you are restricted in your ideas about yourself and about other people and about the world. Once you are liberated from those false ideas, you have 100% chance of not just changing your speech, but also changing your life. Because I don't know who said it, but I guess it's actually true that majority of people live only 1% of their true potential. Only 1% of the true potential. So just imagine what you could have achieved if there was no blocking of your mind by those false ideas that you picked up somewhere else. Just imagine what you could possibly achieve. What do you dream about secretly? What do you really want? You might try to kind of push it away from yourself. No, this is impossible. This is not for people like me. I can't do this. I can't achieve that. Also study what you're jealous about. When you look at other people, what are you jealous of? This is worth actually studying this closely, because jealousy actually shows you what you really want and what you really can achieve, but only on one condition: when you shed the false ideas, limiting ideas and beliefs. This is the hardest part to do, but once you overcome that, there is nothing stopping you. Okay, I have a question here. What if you just get used to your stuttering and just accept that's the way you are? Ever felt like that? Yeah, acceptance, it's actually for many people, well, they speak about acceptance because they don't know it any better. And this is a very good self-deception trick, that's the way I am, there's nothing I can do, I'm disabled, I have a brain malfunction, blah, blah, blah. And they just become complacent. They don't want to change. But be honest with yourself. Is this really how you want to continue living? Just be honest, be brutally honest. Do you want to just accept it and carry on as it is? Honestly, come on, people. Don't lie to yourself. Be honest. Acceptance, when you actually have the key, there is a key to your problem. It is not as difficult as it sounds. It just requires you to be open to new ideas. Let them in, and you will find a way out. You have my book. I believe it is on Amazon. It's called The Anatomy of Stuttering by Olga Bednarski. You can read my story there, and you can understand the algorithm of stuttering, how I see it, and how I actually made the progress. Because I was full of fear, I was full of anger, I was full of insecurities, and I also felt this way, that maybe I should just accept it and accept my substandard life I had before. But there was some fire in me that would continue, burning inside and telling me, come on, girl, you can do better than that. You can do better. And I couldn't find peace. You know what, people? I try to accept it. I try to pretend that there's nothing I can do. This is hopeless, nothing will help me. I try to shift the responsibility, but it just didn't work, because there was this fire inside that kept telling me, you can do it, you can do it. And we will not give you peace until you do it. So I have only found my peace when I started moving towards completely different direction. I tried to accept it. It didn't work because my life, I didn't live the way that I wanted to live back then. So I couldn't possibly find my peace. And I know many of you are the same. We are on the same level, and I am looking for actually people like myself who are seeking for the truth. I know there will be people that don't accept my ideas, and that's fine. You know, when you're ready, you will understand. Maybe in this lifetime, maybe in the next, who knows? I don't understand what this is about speaking too fast. Types of stuttering, there are no types of stuttering. This is exactly the same problem. It can manifest in different ways. Some people stuttering more or less, or on different sounds and things like that. But the essence of the problem is the same in all cases. It doesn't matter how you stutter. The problem is still the same. Okay, so just to finish off my stream today, to make your first steps towards freedom, you need to study your emotions. You need to begin to observe what you're feeling and ask the right questions. You need to get to know yourself better and give yourself permission to open up and let new ideas in, because ideas are very powerful. They can either keep you locked or they can liberate you. It is your choice what you choose. This is your life, and this is your choice only. I have made my choice. You need to make yours. It's up to you now, and it's your time. Remember one thing, when you lose your time, it will never be taken back. Time is precious. Yeah, well, this is the trick you use. You speak too fast. Actually, this was my trick before. And I'm actually, I would say that I'm a fast speaker, and I am now training myself to speak slower, because actually speaking too fast, it doesn't create good impression. So I am taking some public speaking lessons now with a professional actor, and she is teaching me to speak slower, with more poise and more pausing, be more eloquent, stuff like that. Really like it. Yeah, but this can be one of the tricks, but we don't want to use tricks anymore. You want to have a different life. So begin to study yourself and find situations where you can begin to let go of your constant control and obsession over your speech. It can be anything. I don't know. You can join speaking clubs. You can just go in and fail on purpose. I did that before. I would just go in and fail on purpose. Okay, today I'm giving myself permission not to be perfect. Fuck it. I will not be perfect. Today I'm failing. And see, and then you can see what happens. Something happens. Do you die? Do people judge you? They actually, what I have understood, people don't judge you. They don't judge. They don't judge anybody. You judge yourself. That's why you feel like that. People, they don't care. Everyone is living in their own microcosm. They don't care about you. Honestly, they don't. They all have their own problems. They all have their own problems to think about. For example, let's just do a little check now, little test. I am sitting here today giving you this presentation. Do you really think about me now? You don't think about me, right? You think about yourself. You want to get rid of your problem. Do you think about me, how I look? You don't think about me, you think about yourself. You have come here for yourself, not for me. Simple test, okay? And it tells you everything. Okay, so you have lots of tips today to go through, and also everything that I say, it must be put into practice. If you don't practice, you don't get the result. That's simple. Okay, so if you don't have any other questions, I suggest we call it today and we go back to our lives. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. So you are 20 years old. This is a perfect time for you to absorb new ideas for the life ahead, not just for the speaking and all that stuff, but for your whole life that is ahead of you. What kind of life do you want to live? Ask yourself that question and answer honestly. Do you want to accept and carry on the way it is now? Or do you want to move on to a completely different level of being, of reality? That's, again, I like to emphasize, it's not about speaking. That's about having a different quality of life. That's what you all want. That's what experience tells me. And I have started my journey when I was 27. I am now 39. So I had good 10 or 12 years of experience and collecting and experimenting and doing all kind of stuff to come to this day today. Okay, guys, well, I wish you all the best. Enjoy your day. For those who will be watching the recorded version, please post your questions under this video. If you have any further questions, feel free to drop me an email, which I believe is given under this video. Let me just see if it's there. Yep, it is there. So there is my website. You can email me at mystutter@gmail.com. It's, oh yeah, it is there. So for a free consultation, if you want it, if you need to ask me more questions, please just feel free to email me. And all the best to you. Enjoy your day and be happy, be fluent, not just in your speech, in your life.